Hello and welcome back to Direct Strike, where today we are going to... Did I not turn on my music again? Why am I like this? There we go, beautiful. Where today we're going to be going over the mutation for this week, the weekly brawl. And this one is a doozy and a half. It's a... Oh dear, it is already beginning. So let's go ahead and just go over the mutations. First up, we have Insight. So the Fog of War is removed, except for staging areas. So I can't look at their base. I get nothing but a black fog. But the Fog of War is removed. So things like this particular laser that I'm putting down now has infinite range and can obliterate anything and everything along its path, which is kind of gross. It makes me feel a lot dirty inside, especially when we have 3 on the team, because ladies and gentlemen, I have gotten together with a few members of the Discord here, such as CB Vicious, one of the moderators here on our channel, about making sure that they have as many lasers in their face as possible. Giant Godzilla monster doesn't stand a chance against the power of lasers in the face. Oh jeez, this is oh dear. Even look at so many things spawning. Oh jeez. Alright, so the next mutations, not nearly as consequential as the face laser spam, is discharge, so all the base structures are unshielded. Usually makes for good early game rushes against things like the bunker, because it loses a significant chunk of its total effective HP as well as its ability to regenerate. So, I mean, I guess you can try rushing it, but this is kind of disgusting. And the final mutation is Aura. Still one of the favorites, everyone's favorite. Allows us to pick powerful passive bonus, and I think this time, I don't think life is going to be great, but damage or attack speed. I think attack speed is going to be our choice here. That way we can attack faster. Does that actually affect this? Oh, it affects our laser beam. Okay, that's amazing. That is actually awesome. And I am in the Swan Mirror, so I'm gonna want to deal with that. And I'm pushing into Dahaka. So I think in the Swan Mirror, pushing into Dahaka. Generally want to be careful with this, because with the Swan, with the mirror, it's always rough. Oh, he actually is gonna make it across. Okay, understandable. But I think raids are going to be the choice option here, like so. Looks like he did actually get a couple hits off on our bunker. Now that will not regenerate, and that's just, oh yeah, he actually got a fair few hits off on our bunker. Okay, so we'll have to keep that in mind. It is definitely time for us to be spawning units. Poor giant lizard monster. The Swan matchup is a mess, which I suppose isn't that big of a surprise, but I think we can manage it just by starting to bring out these wraiths sooner than later. Now, if he counters with science vessels, we are also going to have to counter with science vessels, which I suppose is not too big of a surprise. But if he counters with something else like Goliaths or Hellbats or something, then we can start doing some damage. Okay, let's put down one more Wraith. Got it. Alright, and then get the upgrades for it. There we go. And hopefully we don't take too much more damage this time. Now, of course, he does have his own laser, which is going to be doing damage to our Wraiths. And, oh dear, actually, that's going to hurt our bunker. Remember when I said that bunker rushing is quite strong? Yes. Here is an example of it. Taking down our bunker. Now, fortunately, those are physically incapable of harming our Planetary Fortress, because Planetary Fortress is, it's got a lot of AoE, so you can't actually approach it like that. But we should be able to start pushing forward here. Now, what does concern me is that my opponent hasn't actually spawned things, so I have to keep that in mind as I carry on. That he's probably just waiting. Wow, that's a lot. Who is pink? Okay, yeah, he needs to get those Hellbats out, which he is doing, which is good. He recognizes the issue at hand, and is beginning the flamethrowers to purge all of the infested units. Oh, so much fire. Fits very well with the laser theme. And those shouldn't be far enough to actually... Yeah, those won't be stopping on us anytime soon. Very good. Now, what did you spawn? Alright, so he spawned a bunch of Hellbats, which do not counter Wraiths. Surprise, surprise. Okay, you guys need to cloak. Okay, you automatically uncloaked. Okay, let's, do this. Force Cloak. They automatically uncloaks again. Okay, well, that's not something you're allowed to micro anymore. That's unfortunate. We're just gonna have them face tank laser beams, which is not ideal, but it's the world we live in now. Unfortunately, we will be able to beat up all those Hellbats with our Wraiths, just by virtue of the Hellbat's not able to attack the Wraiths. That's how this works. I'm gonna pick this up. I don't know if that's worth. I'll pick it up anyways, just in case, but that's only going to take 2.8 DPS off the laser beam. And is he at level 3? Oh, he is. He has level 3 laser beam already. That is so many infested Terrans. That one Hellbat had 28 kills before it went down. I may need to get a couple of extra Hellbats myself to pick up some of those leaked infested civilians. Because that's kind of a lot of infested civilians. Yeah, they're starting to try to jump on top of our laser turrets. The base is pretty rarely immune. It's already picked up 63 kills, but the laser turrets in front, not so much. Okay, let's go here. And assists. I do want to start putting down a bunch more Hellbats to try to deal with these leaked units. Yep. Beautiful. Okay, so that's a lot of Hellbats surviving. And we still have some rays left over. So that should help thin the herd a little bit. So much fire! Oh, that's nice. With the science vessel starting to stack, things are about to get a little bit heated here, guys. I think Pink there with the infested civilian spam is going to have to sell off his units, because I don't think he's going to be making any dent in us anytime soon. And now we're going to be pushing onto their base very quickly. I'm curious as if we'll get their turret here, because raids do a lot of damage. Come on, get it, get it. Oh, not quite. Not quite. Almost, but not quite. Let's get one more Wraith. And then we'll get +2/2 on all these guys. Orange's wave right now doesn't have a whole lot of damage output. Oh, yeah. The Apocalypse not gonna deal with the aircraft enough here. Apocalypse is actually not a poor choice, but it's not gonna solve his... Well, I mean, the Apocalypse will work well versus the Hellbat Goliath. Won't solve the Wraith problem that he's gonna be walking into momentarily here. Definitely won't solve the triple laser beam problem here. Alright, Thor. Oh, he even got the armor upgrade to attempt to knock the Wraiths out of this guy. So the Wraiths are technically armored, so they won't take extra damage from the Thor. The Thor still does splash damage, so it's not like it won't hurt the Wraiths, but it's not going to be that critical damage that he needs. Eventually, he can stack it enough to make the difference, but that's going to take him a little while. We'll see if they can keep their... See if they can try to keep their cannon long enough. So I suspect we're going to be able to take their cannon long before those Thors start making a massive difference here. Come on. Those wondering why the photon cannon is not currently damaged, Stukov can actually heal base structures, which is just quite good. He's very good for this brawl in particular, or at least any... He's actually really good in any scenario where you can heal your base. It's like, oh look, my Nexus is about to die. I can just heal it. Isn't that fun? It's difficult to deal with at times. Alright, here comes the Wraith stack. No cloak. He does have detection, but we can just clear all those out super quick and then push right on into the next segment. Now we are fighting on top of the cannon again, which is going to destroy a lot of us, but okay, never mind. They're just going to focus down the cannon, and the cannon's gone. Rip cannon, so they can't stack on that anymore, which is good for us. Now the question I have here is, if I get a science vessel, I'm going to have to get more than one, because it's going to get sniped by their laser, and that's more expensive than I want to invest, but I do need detection. I can't just not have detection. Eventually the science vessels will stack hard enough, and then we will win. Honestly, I could probably just start building science vessels right now and just start the massive stack. Because science vessels work hilariously well versus the infested marines, or the infested spam. Not so well versus the Thors, but, you know, that's what the raids are for. Alright, raids, go do things. Blow away all the units. Yeah, you can see the splash starting to stack up against my units here. Fortunately, I just have so many raids that it doesn't matter. It's like Ultralisk versus Zerglings. Yes, the Ultralisk wins, but, you know, if you have indefinite Zerglings, then the Zerglings have a chance. So many things still alive. Okay. It's time for science. One of my favorite strategies. You need to be lined up like so. Beautiful. Okay, so now we got 4 of them, so we can get these guys. Keep the energy production online, as well as get the defensive matrix, which will seriously help keep my units alive. And my CB here, he's got a couple Thors. If those sit on the base, then this is going to end. In fact, with the Thor splash and CC, the stun, they're going to, it's not even going to phase the wave. Okay, so now there's the heal. He's trying to out-heal the damage. It's not working. And the base cannon hurts a lot. And do they actually save it here? It's close. Oh, and there it goes. GG. Alright, and welcome back to round 2. We're going to be bringing some more lasers to the enemies here. This time we only have 2 lasers to play with. It's not quite as many as 3. Let's see if we can make the enemy cry here, or at least burn them, whichever comes first. We just slap you 2 here. I don't think I'm going to bother spawning anything in the first wave, mostly because they're going to have a swan, which they don't have a swan. Alright, that's strange. I did not expect them to not have a swan. Who doesn't go swan in the Brawl where you can have infinite laser? This is fine. So I'm actually not sure who I'm against. Kerrigan. Alright, so I am against Kerrigan. I have to look out for mutas, lurkers, and such things. I do not want to be going raids, that is for sure. Let us see what kind of nonsense I can bring to the table this time. Go ahead, actually do this. Get that upgrading now, because I've got 30 seconds for that to kick in with... Let's see. Do I want to go energy regen and damage? So that could mean I could bring extra science to the table. 25% energy regen is no joke with science. I think that's going to be the plan here. Don't know what my opponent's going for just yet, but we can get some extra science in here. Okay, so let's go. And no one's really spawned anything yet. Orange hasn't spawned anything. Nova did, which is good. Nova will be able to just kind of set out the fringes here and target things down. We've got... Ooh. Oh, that's a lot of Zergling. And that is my wave. Okay, so in that case, I'm gonna get a couple Hellbats out here. Go. That way we can clear those out. Upgrade this guy for bonus damage for clearing all the Zerglings. There we go. And I should do that, and now I can start working on science vessels. Because science is fun. That and everything the Zerg Kerrigan has here are biological, so I could just kind of literally irradiate everything and watch them cry. Let's see, versus Abathur. Raids versus Abathur is not a great call. I should probably tell him that. Because if the Abathur goes, I don't know, Mutalisks, or Ravagers, or Vipers, or Devourers, which is a fairly significant chunk of the of Abathur's wave, or Abathur's options, then the raids kind of die horribly in great balls of AoE. Oh, Nova is communicating. This makes me happy. Guys, I love it when teammates communicate. It makes me happy. Yes, please. Yes! Okay. So I should probably also tell the Orange to be careful with the raids. OJ, be careful with the raids. Abathur has lots of air splash. Alright. Orange.
Not enough minerals.
Good question. I just call Orange that. Never thought about it. That's actually a really good question. Why do I call it OJ? Maybe because Alright. Whatever makes sense. So we have 3 science vessels, 4 actually, so I'm going to go ahead and get the upgrades, which will make irradiates more powerful, at least more capable of being used, as well as the defense matrix. We're not going to win this wave, just by virtue of not having enough damage output, but we will be able to stack quite hard. At least, soon. TM. Nova is already tier 3, and he manually sniped the observer, so that is good. So Nova can continue existing for a long time. That's going to be a lot of damage. Nova's already up to 10 kills here, and it's only going to keep rising. Should I get a second gas? We're not technically over the middle, so I think we're going to get a second gas anyways, because I'm a greedy boy. Another concern is that Nova teammate has gone tier 3, which means they don't have a lot of damage output. Notice how they're not going to very strongly win this wave, despite having Wraith and double Nova support. It's just we're stacking so hard that we're conveniently winning rather than actually winning, if that makes sense. So me gassing here is super greedy by, well, most any standard. Also, I don't have a whole lot of single target right now, except for the laser beams. And that means that their Kerrigan unit's going to last for a long time. But I do have Irradiate starting to pile up here. And come on, get the defense matrix on the Kerrigan. Or anything, actually, at this point. Yeah. So they're the Devourers. Devourers, once you hit tier 3, unlock an upgrade to deal Air Splash, and they deal a bonus 50% damage to armored, which Wraiths are, so you do want to be super careful about going Wraiths versus Abathur, because they just get splashed down like no one's business. Ah, yes, there the Irradiates, splashing the damage all over the place. That's what we're looking for. Now, we have a pretty nasty stack, and a Raid Liberator is already out, so that's going to pretty much invalidate all these Queens and most anything else that Abathur can put on the ground pretty quickly. And we're just going to sit here and stack super hard. Our science vessels are already timing out. Let me get the regen for them so they can heal themselves, or at least regenerate somewhat themselves, without having to be heals, which also stacks with their own heal. The Hellbats are just going to face tank the turret for as long as it can. There we go. Irradiate the Empire. I think every roach there got irradiated, which means that they're just going to melt super fast. Devourers don't deal bonus damage to science vessels, so yeah, that's a lot of not taking damage. There you go. And science vessel just kind of sitting here. Welcome to the science. This is how this works. This is why science is good versus Zerg, especially when you have extra energy, so that you can constantly use the abilities instead of having to wait for the energy to regenerate. Now, all I have to do is get anything that deals damage, and then we'll be good to go. Now, I could just not do that, and let my teammates do all the work, while I just heal them infinitely. Come on, get that. No, almost. It's probably not going to work, because it's not current. Didn't pan out. Didn't pan out already. But maybe that was just because we were fighting on the photon cannon. Like, it got 16 kills. Maybe if it wasn't here, then we're currently winning, and it just happens to kill off 17 of our units, which is not a insignificant amount of units at this stage of the game. That's like literally more than, it's like 2 of our waves actually at this point. Irradiates taking down Devourers, that's not something I expect to see often. Yeah, the range upgrade he does. So these Goliaths do actually outrange all these base defenses, including the cannon here. So these Goliaths are not the Wraiths, the Goliaths outrange, which means that if these Goliaths are kept alive and protected, then they will eventually destroy the cannon, and they have to send out units to stop it. And I don't think the Goliath lives. In fact, only one Goliath lives, which doesn't do much damage. Okay, please irradiate the Hydras. Why don't you have energy? Irradiated a Zergling. Well, at least the Hellbats are here to save the day. Liberators. Jeez, raining freedom and destruction. What is that nonsense? Okay, I'm going to get one more of these and then a bunch of Goliaths myself, so that I can actually do some damage here. Because this cannon is not going down, and I want the cannon to go down. Does he have the splash damage on this yet? Yes, he does. Okay. So that's going to do a little bit more damage here. Let me scatter these then. Or at least spread them out in a nice horizontal line, rather than a line that causes them to stack up. There we go. Put you here, and then I can get the range upgrades for them. Very good. And now they can actually sit out of range, just like Orange's Goliath here, and do the damage that they need to do, and slowly whittle down this photon cannon. Because remember, there are no energy shields on it, so any damage we get on this photon cannon is it's never coming back. And they don't have a Stukov this time, so they can't heal it. So it's just, oh, there's the irradiates, and bye Hydralisks. You will not be missed. And now my Goliaths are here, and they do have their range. Yes, they do. We're good to go. Let me go ahead and get the armor and weapons upgrade. I got one weapons upgrade. I don't have that many things that use the weapons just yet, so I'll just start working on the armor. That way we can try to keep our science vessels alive longer. Nice. Beautiful. Isn't it pretty? Actually, some of these Goliaths here are from the previous wave, so that's hilarious to me. So much AoE. Who has a Thor? Orange has a Thor. Very nice. That means his laser is upgraded again and now deals 50 damage per second, which kind of wipes out a lot of things. And everything can take out their Leviathan, and yes. We're getting damage on their Nexus. That's permanent damage that will never be recovered. A little bit more energy. Come on. There, the irradiates on the Hydras. Now you can go away. And now we're free to assault their Nexus a little bit harder. Again, none of us really have a lot of damage output here, so it's not like we're totally just destroying the Nexus, but, you know, we're also sitting within Nexus range that entire time, and it didn't manage to kill us. Oh, he built so many Devourers that my ground units are just gonna walk underneath and not care and finish off the Nexus. GG! Alright guys, if you want to keep up to date with the latest and greatest of all videos, Direct Strike, make sure to join the community Discord, link in the description below. But for now, I'll see you guys later.